right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Men's Sexual Mastery Podcast. Today we're going to be continuing this thread on the gift that is often contained within many of the sexual challenges we may face, or the relationship challenges. And today we're going to be talking about how your premature ejaculation can be a gift. With that, I'd love to pass it over to you, Hawks, to speak a little bit to this. How can premature ejaculation be a gift for a man?
Mm-hmm. Well, first, I want to acknowledge how much of a challenge and curse that probably feels like for most men out there who are regularly experiencing premature ejaculation. So, not to diminish the anguish and the challenges that you are likely facing if that is your reality. And like you said, Ben, what we're aiming to do here in this little mini series is reframe some of these challenges to allow those of us experiencing them to see the gift that's there for us. So, the gift in your premature ejaculation is, in one aspect of it, is the sensitivity that you have.
Mm-hmm.
This heightened sensitivity for pleasure and arousal. And that alone creates a foundation for so much more pleasure and arousal to be experienced.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge is creating containment around that, regulating through those heightened states of arousal, breathing through the pleasure so that you can experience it for longer periods of time. But just having that heightened sensitivity to pleasure and to arousal is a gift, because what a great thing to get to experience. I would rather be sensitive to sensations than numb to them. And the opportunity lies in retraining ourselves so that we can experience those heightened sensitivities and pleasure and arousal for longer periods of time. And the great news is that is absolutely trainable. It's
Mm-hmm.
just not something that most of us received any real training on. So this first piece of the gift that I want to speak to is, okay, you have a highly sensitive body that can experience immense amounts of pleasure and arousal.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And there is also being revealed to you the reality that there's an opportunity for more containment, more regulation. And that's absolutely something that we can train and a capacity that we can build. So that's the first gift that I want to speak to.
Yeah, and I'd love to hop in here and just add that sensitivity is something that, when properly channeled, like you're speaking to, and directed and contained, is a superpower to allow us to connect to our partners. Like when we have that depth of sensitivity, we can attune to our partner's bodies because we can feel her. We can feel her subtle sensations versus just being this ramrod, that's just like pounding through, whatever we want. We're so absorbed in ourselves. Like many men who struggle with premature ejaculation, I think you're spot on, are also, deep down very sensitive men. And when that's properly channeled and contained, that can be such a gift for our partner. And to be able to navigate the depths of these, non-ejaculatory orgasmic states, or these really, really deep states of sexuality, it requires that element. So looking at that as a gift is so helpful. I'm sure for many men. I know it is for me, knowing that that's something that is an element that is allowing me to go deeper into sexual exploration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking to sensitivity in general, I think that for a lot of people in our culture, there's an association with weakness for sensitivity. That sensitivity is synonymous in some way with weakness. And I want to reframe that, because sensitivity itself, like you're speaking to, Ben, is not a weakness. It's actually a superpower. It's a heightened sense. It's our ability to tune into our environment and our own body in an amplified way. And the weakness part, that only comes in, sensitivity can have the effect of creating more fragility if we are not in containment with that sensitivity. So there is also a responsibility for someone who is more sensitive to really train themselves, to have strong boundaries, to practice containment within themselves, to be able to tune into the sensitivity and to be able to, you know, not turn that off totally, but
Mm-hmm.
create the boundaries and the containment within ourselves so that we're not being overwhelmed all of the time. Because sensitivity can also show up
Mm-hmm.
like feeling another person's emotional experience, like you were speaking to, Ben. That sensitivity is uh, it's a heightened ability that we have to feel what's happening inside and around us. And so we can become susceptible if we're very sensitive, which I I'm a very sensitive person. I have been since a young child, and when I was a little boy, I had no tools to understand how to contain that sensitivity, and it was a roller coaster to move through the world as a highly sensitive person. But over the years, learning how to sharpen my containment and differentiate between what I'm feeling and what someone else is feeling, and to be able to put up the boundaries that allow me to then move through the world where I'm not leaking and vulnerable and fragile through that sensitivity, but it's actually something that I can turn on and tune into to help me in relating with other people, or to help me in the bedroom to experience
Mm-hmm.
heightened states of pleasure and to feel, as you were speaking to, what my partner is feeling. All of that
Mm-hmm.
is all of that is as a result of our sensitivity. So just naming that sensitivity does not equal fragility or
Mm-hmm.
weakness. Sensitivity is neutral, and it's how we are in ourselves able to work with that sensitivity that will then
Mm-hmm.
determine whether it's creating more fragility within us or creating more attunement and heightened capacity to relate.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit on one aspect of the gift.
Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah.
of course, yeah, go
I,
ahead.
I was going to say, I have another just piece on that sensitivity. Like another factor that can be making us sensitive is having a huge amount of sexual energy, having like
Mhm.
a really high libido with not a lot of outlet. It's like having this pressure cooker with this tiny little pressure release valve that can create the experience of being very sensitive, but underneath it there's like this huge amount of strength, of life force, of libido, of potent masculine sexual energy. So wanted to highlight that as another gift that can be playing into the experience of sensitivity. And I love what you brought up around, sensitivity is not necessarily the same as fragility. Like it could be, but developing the capacity to hold sensations without ejaculating, without evacuating, without imploding, whether that's pleasure or pain. Like this all comes down to nervous system mastery, which I know we talk a lot about.
Mhm.
Like sexual mastery is nervous system mastery. And I think that's a lot of what we're referring to here is like if you're a really sensitive guy, or if you have a lot of sexual energy and there's just these huge amounts of sensations, you developing your capacity to feel what is present within yourself or within a partner, which is directly correlated, and stay with it and regulate your nervous system and stay in your breath and allow that energy to move instead of, getting caught in these loops and allowing it to just build up and build up and build up until it has nowhere to go, which is just the default program. Like that's just what happens when we don't have any training around this, but we can retrain this. That is the pathway, for integration and finding balance between sensitivity and also having this capacity or this containment. So I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to add that in as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly where I was going as well with this next gift is to do with the nervous system, like you were
Mm-hmm.
saying. And so another way that we can look at something like premature ejaculation as a gift is looking at what is that revealing to us. The the window of tolerance in our nervous system, which means the range in which we can operate with different levels of stimulus or activation, how big our range is to be able to stay grounded, to stay regulated, to stay present amidst heightened levels of activation. That is our window of tolerance. And so if someone is experiencing premature ejaculation, this is almost certainly revealing to that person a fragility in the nervous system. And I will say fragility in this context because this is our capacity to move through the world grounded, present, strong, centered amidst heightened levels of stimulus and arousal. And arousal does not just mean sexual arousal, it's the arousal of witnessing conflict in the workplace or in the home, or if you have a child and they're throwing a temper tantrum, is that going to trigger you into a reaction where now you're adding more fire to that already fiery situation and things are amplifying and growing
Mm-hmm.
out of control? Or are you able to stay grounded amidst that activation and breathe and stay centered and be able to then provide some water to that fire and help to bring that situation back down into regulation? All of that is related to our window of tolerance of the nervous system. And so another gift in premature ejaculation is that it is revealing to you an opportunity for increasing the capacity of your nervous system. And I think one of the ways that I think about this as a gift is, what better motivator to take action and implement some tools and get some support? What better motivator than, oh, I'm
Pleasure.
not having the sex that I want to have. I'm not having the connection and intimacy with my partner that I want to have. Like, I can't think of a much better motivator for men than
Mm-hmm.
that. So this is revealing to you an opportunity to refine and increase your capacity of the nervous system. And you've got this incredibly rich motivation to be able to last longer in the bedroom, to be able to have deeper, more and more fulfilling sex with your partner. And when we increase the window of tolerance of our nervous system, and when we increase our capacity to stay grounded and regulated amongst increased sexual arousal, that will inevitably cascade into all aspects of our life and improve our capacity to stay regulated amidst any different type of arousal
Mm-hmm.
that we encounter, that we will inevitably encounter through our day to day life. And so by focusing on, okay, I want to last longer in bed, I really need to figure out this premature ejaculation thing. It's been plaguing me forever. All right, I'm going to take some action. Good news is there's lots you can do. And when you start to increase that capacity for you to last longer in the bedroom and you start to overcome this trigger, this hair, and like
Hair trigger. Yeah.
Yeah, like this hair trigger, it doesn't seem like the
Is
right
that a
word,
hair
but
trigger, like a really slight it's like a very sensitive trigger, is that right?
yeah, it's like if you've already cocked the the gun back and it's just like that phoom, doesn't take much at all to push you over the edge.
Mhm.
Increasing that capacity for you to have more range in your nervous system is going to help you in the bedroom,
Mhm.
and it's going to help you in all aspects of life, all different types of relating.
Mhm.
So I look at this as well as a gift because it's revealing. It's your body revealing to you an opportunity for growth, and that will positively impact every aspect of your life.
Yeah, well said, man. Yeah, I know that we say all the time in this work that how we show up in the bedroom is how we show up in life, and vice versa. How we show up in life is how we show up in the bedroom. So, chances are, if you're struggling with what is essentially overwhelm, with not being able to handle huge levels of activation of your nervous system sexually in pleasure, it's very likely you're also struggling with overwhelm outside the bedroom too, and having a dysregulated nervous system, as you're saying. Another one that I think goes hand in hand with this that we've spoken a lot about is getting caught in thought loops. Like for
Mhm.
a lot of guys, there can be this performance pressure that they have that creates this whole loop, self manifesting, failure of the premature ejaculation, and that doubt of yourself, like that loop of where you don't trust yourself to ground yourself amidst heightened stimulation, whether again in pleasure or in pain, in life or in the bedroom. It's all connected. So I think there's a lot to say about, in tandem with the nervous system regulation, is also our ability to break out of our own thought loops,
Mhm.
and stay present, which we've spoken to already. Um, that's really what's at the core of so much of this. So, like, as we practice things like meditation, for instance, which is getting out of our head, and there's plenty of other practices. And this is a lot of the tools and practices we have within our community and support systems, and implementation of a daily consistent practice, whether that's with meditation or with self pleasure where you're edging but staying regulated as the heightened sensations come up, or whether it's getting into an ice bath, and meeting places where you get super triggered, your whole nervous system's going into fight or flight, and you're breathing, you're relaxing. Like, those are just three examples of just places where we can be training ourselves outside of the bedroom and how to deal with heightened sensations. But I love what you brought up earlier. Like, this is everywhere in life. We don't even need to go looking for it. It can be a conversation at work. It can be, anxiety or depression or just thoughts we have throughout the day. It can be a boss. It can be a child that's throwing a temper tantrum. It can be the person in front of you, at a red light, like on their phone, and it turns green. And like, what's your response? Or being in traffic. Like, it's all around us all the time. And like, what a gift to have this little, fire alarm going off, let's say, this thing we're struggling with in the bedroom that is pointing the way towards a fire in our life, that is
Mhm.
not probably just extending to the bedroom, as you're saying. And so, as we learn to locate the fire and address the underlying stuff, which is a lot of what this work is all about, this is what we do in our trainings and one on one work, and in our own lives all the time. Like, I'm still in it, you're still in it. That eventually the fire alarm will go off. Eventually, we're repatterning these neural pathways and autonomic nervous system responses so that we can get into those levels of sensation, whether pain or pleasure, like you said, and it cascades all over our life. And we're able to stay with it. We're able to feel it and breathe and even smile in the midst of it and have this level of mastery, of capacity to meet the moment, whether that's our partner yelling at us and upset or fucking us like in the depths of pleasure. Like, it's all one package. So, yeah, I really appreciate everything you highlighted, man, and just wanted to echo that.
Mhm. Yeah, I love the fire alarm analogy. And I think that was a great synopsis of what we covered here. And there's more we could, of course, go into. There's one more piece that that's coming up for me around this that we haven't specifically spoken to, which is tension in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, of course, it's all related. It can be a psychological thing. It can be a somatic thing. It's almost always a psychosomatic thing. But just to offer one more place to look of where that fire alarm might be signaling is tension in the body, tension in the pelvic floor, the tight ass,
Mm-hmm.
that can be creating a blockage of that energy. And this buildup of tension and that tensing up amidst arousal, it is a nervous system response as well. And we can also approach that through the soma. We can approach that from the physical layer and start to open up the pelvic floor. And we can do this through functional breathing patterns, these other tools and movement practices that, as you mentioned, we bring through in our systems. And there's also lots of other places that you can go to find resources on how to start to open up the physical body, because there could also be a trauma that's stored in the tissues, and that could be creating a physical tension contraction response amidst that arousal. And so this fire alarm is signaling something of great importance for you to look at. And whether it's a psychological mental loop pattern that's going to be showing up in countless areas of life, or it's a physical tension, contraction, blockage of your actual physical and energetic body, or it's the nervous system, just overall nervous system capacity. Each man's blueprint is a little different, but the gift here is that there is something of great importance being revealed to you. And as you start to move through this, motivated towards having better, longer, deeper sex, that is entirely possible with the right level of consistent, committed, and supported, informed approach. You absolutely can overcome this, and it will have immense cascading benefits into every aspect of your life. So this is a gift if you choose to see it that way and approach it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautifully said, brother. And I feel like that's a wrap here for today. I just wanted to send out some love and appreciation, gratitude to all the brothers in our community and our training programs. Thank you guys for making this possible. We wouldn't be here without you. If you're interested in joining one of our training programs or joining the Brotherhood and learning more about what it is we offer and how we can help you reprogram these loop patterns and make this into truly a gift, check us out at menssexualmastery.com. And yeah, let us know in the comments below if anything came up for you. Leave us a review if you enjoyed this podcast. It really helps us out. And we look forward to seeing you in the next one.
All right. Great dropping in with you, Ben. Thanks for listening. Blessings in your day, everyone.